All right, ready for another deep dive? Today, we're heading straight into the Bitcoin market, trying to decode some of the signals that might give us a hint about, well, where Bitcoin's price might be going next. Now, whether you're already invested in Bitcoin or you're just fascinated by this whole digital gold rush, this one's for you. We're going to be dissecting an article that breaks down a really important technical indicator. It's called MACD.
Yeah, and maybe even more important, we'll see how that MACD thing interacts with some other indicators and the overall market trends. Got to see the full picture, right? Can't get ahead of ourselves. Because let's be real for a sec, Bitcoin, it's still a bit of a mystery sometimes the way it moves.
It really is. Okay, so MACD stands for Moving Average Convergence Divergence. I know, I know, it sounds kind of Star Trek-y, right? But stick with me here, because traders love this thing for a reason.
Think of it like it's a momentum detector. For Bitcoin specifically, it uses these two moving averages, basically lines on a chart, right? They track Bitcoin's price. And by looking at them, we get clues about shifts in the market, buying and selling pressure, that kind of thing.
So instead of just staring at the price right now, this MACD helps us see if Bitcoin's like revving up or hitting the brakes. Like, is it about to blast off or are we running out of fuel?
Exactly. We want to see who's winning, the buyers or the sellers. And the way we do that is by watching the MACD line and the signal line. Imagine them like dancers, okay? When those lines cross. That's our signal. Something might be about to happen.
Okay, interesting. Now, our article tells us Bitcoin is hanging out around 60,000, 62,000 bucks right now. It just had a little surge, got close to 65,000. So everyone's dying to know, what's MACD saying? Another climb coming.
Well, this is where it gets really interesting. See, the weekly chart, the one that gives us the bigger picture, it's hinting that we might be in for what we call a bullish MACD crossover soon. That blue MACD line, it's creeping up on the red signal line. Traders watch that like hawks, let me tell you.
So blue's closing in on red. Potential upward swing for Bitcoin, maybe? But got to be more to it than that.
Oh, absolutely. MACD, it's useful, don't get me wrong, but using just that is like navigating a whole city with only a compass. Helpful, sure, but you need a map, too, for the full picture. And that's where our next big idea comes in, the 21-week EMA.
Okay, the 21-week EMA. Gotta admit, not the catchiest name. So break it down for us. What is this EMA thing, and why should we even care?
Yeah, good point. So EMA, it means exponential moving average. Basically, it's like a regular moving average, but it's got a better memory, you could say. It gives more weight to what's been happening lately with the price. In this case, the 21-week, well, it's looking back over those last 21 weeks of Bitcoin's price action. Gives us a wider lens than just, a single day or a week.
Okay. So it's like we're checking Bitcoin's temperature, but over a longer stretch. Seeing if the overall trend is heating up, cooling down, or just kind of stuck.
You got it. And here's the kicker, right? For that bullish MACD crossover to really mean something, for it to really have legs, Bitcoin needs to be above this 21-week EMA line. Think of it like this. Bitcoin is asking for permission to take off from air traffic control.
So it's not enough for those MACD lines to be doing their little dance. Bitcoin needs to be above this EMA line, too, for it to be a really strong signal.
Exactly. It's like a confirmation, like you get a bullish crossover, but Bitcoin's below the EMA? Might not be as powerful as if it was already on an upswing.
Makes sense. Got to have that extra reassurance. So have we seen this combo before? Where both the MACD and this 21-week EMA are looking good, like flashing green lights. And what happened?
$1 million question, right? And yeah, we have. Our article, it points to this really interesting example from October last year, 2023.
Yeah.
Remember when Bitcoin had that crazy climb toward the end of the year?
Oh, yeah. Everyone was talking about it. Felt like Bitcoin was the only thing on people's minds for a while there.
Right. So if we rewind a bit, we see a setup that looks pretty darn similar. Bitcoin was chilling above the 21-week EMA, and then bam, bullish MACD crossover.
So it's October 2023. We've got the crossover. Bitcoin's already in a good spot. Above that EMA line, what happens next? Things actually get exciting.
Exciting might be putting it mildly. Bitcoin, it went on a tear, you could say, from around 28,000 bucks. It shot up to almost 50,000. After that crossover, like textbook example, those indicators lining up, signaling boom, upward move.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. That kind of jump, you don't just ignore that. But one example, right, could be a fluke. Didn't the article mention something about 2022, like a similar pattern playing out then as well?
You're on top of it. The article, it does mention that 2020 saw something similar. Bitcoin, again, sitting pretty above the 21-week EMA, bullish MACD crossover happens, and what do you know? Another surge in price. These repeating patterns, it's why traders love this stuff.
So history's saying when these things align, Bitcoin tends to make a move upwards. But Got to be responsible here. We're just exploring this, not giving financial advice or anything. But hypothetically speaking, if history decides to repeat itself, what are we looking at? What kind of price action are people expecting based on all this?
Yeah, no one's got a crystal ball,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
But based on this data, assuming we do get that crossover, Bitcoin above the EMA, some analysts, they're throwing out numbers like 70,000, even 80,000
Yeah.
in the next few months.
Okay, so potentially another big leap for Bitcoin, but let's not get ahead of ourselves. MACD, EMA, it's all just pieces of the puzzle, right? Bigger picture and all that.
100%. Crypto is wild, right?
Yeah.
Tons of factors at play. News, regulations, the tech itself, all that can shake things up.
So as cool as all this pattern stuff is, gotta stay informed. Can't just tunnel vision on one thing. What's the takeaway for our listener at home? The one trying to make sense of Bitcoin and all this?
I'd say this. You've gotten a peek behind the curtain, right? Technical analysis, how traders use MACD, the EMA, all that. But knowledge is power. Don't rely on just one indicator, one chart, any of that. Do the research, look at everything, and remember, past performance, it's no guarantee of future results.
Very wise words. And there you have it, our deep dive into Bitcoin, MCD, the whole shebang. Thanks for joining us, everyone. Keep learning, keep exploring, and until next time, stay curious.